Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this third-party figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at something quite interesting. And to be honest, I've had to do a little bit of my homework on this figure, because what I believe this to be is a KO, so it's a fourth-party version of the masterpiece Megatron from Takara. And thanks to Ben Williams, my subscriber, and the person who's lent me this, we've managed to work out pretty much it is exactly that. So this is the original figure, and funnily enough, this figure came with no packaging, but it did come packaged exactly like this. So none of the knee joints or all the other bits were attached to it. It was just basically the endoskeleton, and you popped everything on it. But from reading this very quickly, I can understand why they've done it. This is the actual version which you're seeing right in front of you. This is the ToysMage Beast Wars Megatron, and it says sold out for now, but I am going to leave a link in the description because I did get it from Show Z in case it comes back in stock. And yeah, because it's basically a much cheaper version. It said that it was about $320 when that figure first came out. This is retailing at £80. That's about $100. So there's a huge difference. So as I say, although it's definitely a knockoff, we can confirm that it is. It doesn't come with any instructions. It didn't come with any box. It just came in a clamshell with all of the pieces. But as I say, it definitely is the masterpiece Megatron figure. So I've attached everything to it, and to be honest, it looks really good. I've even had a look at the contents, what was in the original box, and it's, well, the official version, and it's all the same. We've got the blast effect for when he's in the other mode. We've got the different head sculpts which we can then reattach. We've got the large gun that again we can pop into the palm in a second, and it's also got the toothbrush. Again, pretty much everything that's in the Takara version. There's also something, I haven't managed to work it out yet, but you can put batteries into somewhere in here, because there's a button on the head and there's also a button on the back of the heads, or both heads. Now the only problem I found with this straight away is, and again this could be one of them things, buy cheap buy twice, is that this midsection just keeps sliding off. So I presume it should click back there. You do hear that it clicks in, but it just pops straight off. And some of the joints, I've got to confess, as you can see, they are a little bit loose. So I suppose it's, again, at the moment it's looking like a case of you get what you paid for. To give you an idea, you get what you pay for basically. That is the Kingdom Megatron, which is a leader class figure, so you can see just how much bigger this particular figure is. Just again for a couple more comparisons, this is a Kang Toys take on, I always get his names mixed up, Headstrong. He's called Huge Rhino, made by Kang Toys, and I'm surprised that Megatron is actually bigger than him. These Kang Toys are huge. And then what we've got here is a new Toy Deco MP Takara Masterpiece Prime. So as I say, it does, as I say, the fact that it says fourth party basically means that it's a knockoff. It's a polite way of putting KO. Let's have a look at the figure itself then. So if I bring it close enough, the head sculpt is pretty cool, to be fair. It will look around, it'll look up and down. You can pop it off on a ball, and see what I mean about the waist, it's gone straight away. You can slide the face plates off. They're pretty easy, to be honest. I'm not going to do it because it's just going to snap the waist. Well, not snap, it's going to slide the waist off. You can see where they do come off there. The arm itself is on ratchets as well. This part as well I did actually attach. So to be honest, in fact, no, I'm going to keep it on. I know, I'm just going to slide it off. So there's the arm. As I say, all of these parts here, when you buy it, aren't attached. So these two bits on the hips, they're not attached. You pop them in yourself. These two bits on the back aren't attached. You pop them on yourself. It's just a strange looking, it's near enough like an endoskeleton with all these parts that you put around it. Now the shoulder, see what I mean about the waist? That's the big issue straight away. Oh, that's making a racket. I don't want to wake up my kids. Let's bring it down quietly. So the shoulder does make a lot of noise. It goes around, it makes ratchets to the side and out to the, all the way around the back. It swivels. Does it swivel? I don't want to, no, it doesn't. It swivels as in turns around. The bicep flexion is there. The wrist swivel. The waist is obviously going to swivel. The hips themselves, are they? Yeah, they're ratchets as well, and they go to the side, etc. There's a knee ratchet. There's the toes, which are on, they're not on ratchets, but they do all move, and the heel does come right out as well. So it's, again, as I say, unfortunately I don't have the original to do a direct comparison, but it does definitely look like that. I think we've got a genuine ab crunch as well in there, guys. It looks like that. The head arm is always difficult to manipulate, but again, it is on a ratchet and it's really detailed, to be fair. I like the look of it. I just realized the head went out of focus on there for most of that, but to be honest, all you needed to see was what I was showing you. Let me just lift this up ever so slightly. So I say, if you wanted to, well, these all fit into the arms. They fit in. Whoa, it's going to tip much. There's articulation in the fingers as well, right down to the knuckles, and again, these all fit much easier without that huge tail on it. Now I'm going to ask Ben, funny enough, which mode he's going to be displaying this in, but before I get to the next part anyway. I did have this in earlier. Typical, it's not going to go now. Let me fold it round, because on this, although there's the tab, it should fit in. We should have, as I call it in every single masterpiece figure that we do, the industry standard cutout that is on the side. It just needs a bit of pressure putting in. It does fit in, I guarantee you, honestly, this one does fit in. I have had it putting in. I'm just really dubious about these legs and about the waist. If I push that in there, you can see that that's going into there. It does. And then I need to bring this around. I'm not having any luck with this, am I? I'm not going to waste any more time with trying to attach a toothbrush into a Megatron hand. There you go, it went in there in the end. And then just very quickly to show you again that this does, again, this was by itself, but you slot it in like so. So it does all come in pieces. You pretty much assemble it all up. I'm hoping that you don't have to take it all apart to transform it. I'm imagining that you don't. So yeah, just very quickly to remind you, separate, tail is separate, and indeed all of these you have to fold out as well to bring the guns around. It looks good, it does look good, it looks an impressive figure, and if it's definitely not my side, and I think if you're just going to be posing it like that, hopefully he's not going to be tipping over. And let's see what he looks like then in his beast mode. It's not too bad at the moment, you know, it's over a third of the price less than the original, but let's see what it looks like in the other mode. So we're back and he's in his alternate mode, and quick apologies, no transformation process in this video. Main reason I'm going to explain right now, but before we do, I just need to clear up what I said in the first part. He came in packaging with no packaging, which I know made no sense, but what I mean is it didn't come with any official packaging. It just came with a box like this with the accessories in. As I say, he was in his robot mode. It is literally just in a blank Shozy box, so I didn't have any idea what the figure was. It just came exactly like that, as I say. Now, funnily enough, I think I jinxed myself in the first part. This doesn't look too bad, but I don't think it's me, and to be honest, I think I've already wasted too many hours of my life trying to get all of the parts to fully click in. Now I've done something again which I don't normally do. I've gone and watched MGo's video on this particular figure, because he's got some great transformation tutorials as well, and it just clicks in way easier than mine. I've took it apart, put it back together, took it apart, put it back together, and I'm under the impression that I think it's because that, again, it is this KO. So there's this brilliant saying, as I say in the UK, I've already said it once, buy cheap, buy twice, and I think that's pretty much what this is. And at the moment, the only thing that's letting it down is I just can't get everything to click together. But saying that, it's still not too bad. Hopefully I can get across how big this is as well. So that's the Kingdom Megatron there, which looks quite big at the moment. That's only because he's just right in front of him. And then I've also got Magmatron's beast as well there, so you can see that this masterpiece, of course, size is completely towering over them. So I think, as I said, with regards to robot mode, he's not too bad. There's just that tiny little issue with the waist swivel, and with this, again, it's not too bad, and maybe over a period of time, maybe a little bit of pressure, etc., clicking all these on. But again, you heard me at the beginning of the video say, you know, this is a subscriber's. He's lent me this very kindly. I don't want to apply too much pressure on it, otherwise, you know, as I say, look at the detail in the head sculpt. It's fantastic. The eyes, literally, they're translucent plastic. They look great. The teeth, in all honesty, are ridiculously sharp and probably don't need to be that sharp. We've also got the large accessory, if you remember, that was in the box as well. That looks like it's going to fit right there, no problem whatsoever. So bit of articulation, let me show you. In fact, there's loads of articulation, but it's just going to pop all this up. The head goes up and down, the jaw goes up and down. You can turn it side to side, but it's just going to pop off there. The little dinosaur arms will swivel at the elbow. They will move all the way around at the top joint. And of course, the same as the big legs. These will move around. These are on ratchets still at the knees. The toes, they're all individually articulated. So is the heel. You can move that back a little bit, and you can sway the tail backwards and forwards, and this little part at the back as well. So overall, pretty much as I'm coming to I suppose get used to with reviewing a few KOs on this particular channel, you always tend to get one mode that's much better than the other, and maybe that's because they put all the effort into the one, or maybe it's just because they're really unlucky and don't tend to get it right. As I say, I've reviewed a few KOs on here, and as I said, in the robot mode, and especially for the price, I think that's the biggest thing I want to drill home. Like I said, it's so much cheaper, and although this mode is pretty good and it's not the greatest, you know, you can hardly really tell. That's what, 2 foot away from me now, and to be honest, I can't really see that all these gaps aren't joined up. So if it was on a shelf, I mean, granted, it'd drive me wild because I would know, but what I'm trying to say is, for the people who aren't too bothered, you probably wouldn't even be able to notice it. And in robot mode, as you saw, it did stand pretty well, to be honest. And again, just a couple more figures here to give you an idea of how big this particular figure is. It's masterpiece scale, as we've already said. It's masterpiece scale. And exactly that, comes with all the exact same parts, but it just comes in a normal box, brown box, no other instructions, no other packaging, exactly the same accessories as the main one, and it pretty much is, just as I say, of a lesser quality. Not much more to say about this particular figure though. Again, huge thanks to Ben for the loan of this, and you guys let me know what you think of him in the comments. Take care.